Animated movies, the outcome of constant, never-ending innovations from hardworking, talented individuals. From stop motion to rigging to whatever this is.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It's become a huge part of our culture, and an even bigger part of our childhoods. Growing up watching movies like Cars, Frozen, the Lego Movie, it's embedded itself into our personalities. Some of us more than others, but I digress. It's the next day. Sorry, I was tired, had to go to sleep. But anyways, you may be thinking, where was I going with this? Well, there's another side of this animated movie coin, and that's mockbusters.
Come on, Greg, it's time.
Mockbusters take our favorite original animated movies and just make them worse, pretty much. They just try and do everything in their power to convince you to watch their movie instead, and it ends up coming out as this weird, uncanny valley animation with terrible storytelling. But I guess it worked, because today we're watching Little Bee. A little bit of exposition before we get started with the movie. It's about this bee named Beanard who really likes making honey, but he's a soldier, and everyone knows soldiers can't cook honey because, well, it's against the law. So we get to see how Beanard's journey from a soldier to a chef affects him and the culture around him in the hive. Anyways, let's get started with the movie.
Oh, Beanard, my dear boy.
So first off, let's address the elephant in the room. The mom's got cake. Like, there's no denying that. But that kind of brings up the first problem. Why are they trying to make the bee mom hot, bro? It's not a Pixar movie.
What are you doing here? You shouldn't be buzzing around in the flowers. You're supposed to be a soldier someday.
So his mom sits here for like 5 minutes belittling him for not wanting to be a soldier, which is crazy in its own. But then she sends him to class, and they rat on him and like scold him in front of the entire class. It's crazy.
What is the key to a strong hive?
Working together and doing our part, Lady Aluska. Know your place.
Know your place. And each hive has how many queens?
One queen.
How many workers does it take to make honey?
It takes between 15 and 80,000.
And why do we have so many soldiers?
So that they keep the hive safe.
So next we get introduced to our first side character, and she's insane. She's really violent. She just wants to kill people, and it's kind of funny, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah! Fight! And if anybody tries to mess with this hive, we'll swarm them! Yeah!
That's absolutely right, Beauty.
So her whole plot is that she's a honey chef, and she wants to be a soldier, so she's like the opposite of Beanard, and they end up working together to help each other, so...
When should soldier bees make our delicious honey?
Never! Yeah, sure, but think outside the hexagon.
So I'm actually a joke expert, and that one might have gone over a couple of your guys' heads, but pretty much he says, think outside the hexagon, instead of think outside the box, you know? Like, think outside the square, since it's a hexagon, because they're bees. So they keep belittling Bernard for a while, and then they end up introducing the second side character, the princess, and they do it in this weird way for a children's movie in an elementary bee school.
You might be fortunate enough to date the princess. That's what I'm talking about. She will be mine.
Keep it down.
Drones are so way gross. Don't even think about it. Listen, I have dreams, ambitions, and nearly limitless wealth. Whatever I want, I'm gonna get.
So the princess is kind of an asshole, right? But I mean, she's a princess. She has to be an asshole. And then they spend the next 5 minutes, the whole class, talking about how they don't want to be what they're assigned to. And it's this whole thing. And then we get to see Beanard's soldier training. Before we address how bad Beanard is at stinging things, I mean it's the one thing he should be good at. He's a bee. Can we talk about how when a bee stings something, they die, right? That's how bees work. I'm not. It like rips out their intestines. So and they're just killing their soldiers in training.
And you, Beanard, you're not ever going to be a soldier.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right, sir. Maybe there's some way you could transfer me to the honey production sector, sir.
I see. So, You're a cook.
So in this bee universe, there's this whole thing in the bee community about how making honey is bad. And I thought maybe at first it was like a gender thing because he's a soldier, he's a male, he should be a soldier, and he shouldn't be making honey. But the like head chef is a dude. So it's not that. They're just hating on the people that make their food for no reason.
What are you gonna do when you got a spider looking for a meal? Cook something? No, he'll make a meal out of you.
They talk about how crucial it is to their survival that these bee soldiers protect the hive, but I feel like it's just as crucial to eat and not starve. So, but I mean, I guess I'm not a bee, so what do I know?
Huh. That's right. Nailed the bullseye on the fly. Uh-huh. Woohoo.
So Beauty's dead now because she stung something, and that's how bees work. When you sting something and you're a bee, you die. But she doesn't because it's a kids movie. So pretty much Beanard uses this as leverage since Beauty wasn't supposed to be at the training camp. But then he tells her his entire like secret plan, and so he has no more leverage anymore. He's just like, okay, I'll keep your secret if you keep my secret. And then he tells her his secret.
Don't worry, I'll keep your secret safe. But in return, you have to promise me not to tell anyone that I'm working on a new recipe for the most delicious honey yet.
And then they talk about how if they get caught, they're gonna have to eat the honey chef's honey, which doesn't make any sense because they're bees, and plus they do it in a really weird way. And then they explain like way later in the movie about how the honey chef just makes bad honey, but it just doesn't sound like that when they're talking about it the first time.
The last thing we want is the Queen's honey chef mad at us. Yeah, he might punish us and make us eat his honey. Hello, Chef. How's your cooking going, sir?
Magnifique! It's the best batch yet!
The honey chef is probably my favorite character in this movie. It's just really funny, his accent and how egotistical he is, even though his bad honey is what causes like the entire conflict of the movie. Another thing is, I'm not French or German, but I feel like throughout this scene, his accent slowly stops becoming French and starts becoming German.
That's why I'm known as the best chef of all the bees ever!
Relax, everything's gonna be all right. Wanna help me out? Reporting for duty, sir!
Okay, you may have realized by now that the voice actor for Beanard is Veronica Taylor. And if you don't know who that is, that's the voice actor for Ash Ketchum in every single piece of Pokemon media. Which is kind of insane that they got her for this.
Guess it's not my lucky day.
You can't buzz around collecting nectars. It's against the rules. I never said I would get them, but a cook could. Well, sure, but who did you have in mind? There's a whole swarm of cooks out there. Hey, Beauty, come on. Show your old pal some love. Ew, dial it back there, Romeo. What's the big deal?
I agree with Beauty. He needs to dial it back. So we get introduced to the Queen, who, like everyone else, sucks, but they have the teacher from earlier play her like Squire, and it reminds me of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit characters that have the greasy black hair that just suck.
Your Majesty?
Why do I bother? It is my duty to honor a legacy of greatness that has spanned eons. But lately, things haven't been so great.
You're absolutely right. I, for one, can't stand how disrespectful the students are.
Well, that simply won't do. So, this generation of slackers needs to be told that each one of them is expected to do their part.
And the Queen's a hypocrite because she's talking about how no one wants to do their part anymore. And then 3 seconds later, the teacher talks about how a princess wants to come and learn from the Queen, and she's not having it. She just doesn't want to.
Actually, sire, a princess has requested an audience.
With me? Can't somebody else handle this princess?
Well, it is the Queen's job.
And this is where the movie starts getting kind of weird because they reintroduce the princess and she's an entirely different character. Her personality's changed, her hair color's changed, her eyes changed, her hairstyle changed. It's not the same character. And then she pitches the BCIA.
Greetings, princess. I understand that you have some questions for me?
That's right, my queen. If I'm expected to rule, I need to know what it means to take control.
In order to lead, one must have enough courage to take initiative, right?
More than you can know. And it warms my heart to meet a fine princess like yourself. Your insights serve you well. Remain true to them and they'll see you through. Are we done now?
One more thing, Your Majesty. I had an idea on how to improve Homeland security. Let's say we had an elite force of specially trained covert operatives, highly skilled in information analysis and surveillance. Then we wouldn't be vulnerable to foreign attacks.
That's a curiously elaborate suggestion, my dear.
Why, yes. Yes, it is. It is weird that this princess just pitched the BCIA. And it's also the only time they talk about it, which I think it's like, it's normal that it doesn't happen a bunch, but it's weird that it happened once. And then they don't talk, I just don't get it. I don't get why they pitched the BCIA. It has nothing to do with the plot.
With all due respect, Your Majesty, it's a smart thing to do.
Nope.
Oh, poop.
Poop? That's just rude. Goodbye.
So I watched this movie like 3 times, and one of the times I watched it with my sister, and she brought up about how this scene passes the Bechdel test, which is when a movie has 2 female characters talking about anything other than a guy, and I just find it funny that this movie passes it, and the original B movie doesn't. This next scene in the movie is probably one of my favorites, so I'm just gonna let it play out so you guys can enjoy it without me interrupting you.
The beauty is back! Clear out of the way, Beanard! I'm gonna stick the biggest steak of all time! No! Please don't! Be careful! Just calm down, you'll spill the nectar! I won't! You're aiming right at me! Here I am! Oh!
Not only does it show that Beauty's kind of an idiot, but good at hitting the target, it also shows that Bernard is not just smart, and he's got some physical prowess. So next, Bernard asks why Beauty isn't a soldier, and I thought it was just because she wasn't allowed to, but I guess it's because she just doesn't want to, and she just likes attacking the target. There's nothing else to it.
Hey, Beauty! Why haven't you ever tried to become a soldier? No, that's not me. I only like the part where I get to hit the target dead center. I actually like making honey, too. Well, you'd make a better soldier than I ever would.
Alright, now we get introduced to the humans, who are the main enemy in this movie because I guess the honey tastes bad and so they have to destroy the hive. But they took an interesting approach on the humans' design and sound effects.
Well, time to check the hive. That's too bad. This honey just isn't any good anymore. Well, I guess that's it for this hive.
I forgot to mention that the princess started following around Bernard and Beauty. That's why she's in this next scene. But this next scene is probably the best in the movie because they break out into song and dance, and the song actually kind of slaps.
My destiny, it's all up to me. What I want to be. Oh yeah! Make the hive safe, or honey taste great. I have to choose my fate. Which one? I hear a voice inside of me. I know that it won't steer me wrong. That's right. All the things I think I might be. My heart will lead me right where I belong.
If you listen to the lyrics of this next part of the song, you can tell that they're talking about all the choices they have.
I'm a drone. That's cool. I'm a soldier. You're brave. I'm a queen. So pretty. I'm a worker. I'm a chef. All these choices, life's a swarm of endless possibilities.
Quick recap, the whole plot of the movie is that they don't have any choices, and they have to do the job that they're assigned to. So I don't know why it's difficult for them to choose what they're supposed to do, because they're supposed to do what they're told to do. There's no choices.
Life's a swarm of endless possibilities.
All right, nice and slow. If I don't make any noise, they'll never see me coming.
Dude, that bee's hitting the stanky leg.
See me coming.
And now on to my favorite designed character in the movie, the emo bee soldier. He's not an important character at all, but it's funny. And then the queen calls a meeting and drafts all the soldier trainees, the children, into war.
All soldiers in training will report for duty immediately. We all must do our part.
Good luck, Beanard. Thanks, but I hope that won't be necessary. You're the best friend I've ever had. You're special. Don't give up on your dreams. You never know when they might come true. I hope they will.
Beauty, let's go. The soldiers need to prepare.
It's so sad. This is such a sad movie. Bernard has to go to war. He's gonna die.
You don't get it. They have it in from me.
So what? Just spray him. One squirt of that stuff will knock him out for hours.
I don't like shooting them with that junk. It's bad for them. This bee suit is all I got, and it's full of holes.
So at first I thought they were talking about those smoke canisters you spray on bees to make them drowsy. But if you keep watching the movie, they end up just gassing the bees with green toxic fumes. So the princess comes up to Bernard and tells him that the humans are going to attack him because their honey tastes bad and that she needs his help making his secret honey recipe. And Bernard acts all surprised that she knows about it, even though the entire time he was making it, she was dancing with him.
Yes, because our honey doesn't taste good. But you could fix all that with your special recipe.
How do you know about that?
Oh, I know. Now let's get to it. Every moment counts.
If the chef shows up, you'll have to run interference for us. Yeah, sure. I'll sting him good. That shouldn't be necessary, Beauty. I know, but it would be fun.
See, she's just insane. I told you guys, she's freaking crazy. So next they have this weird long segment that goes on for way too long where they're making the honey and they're moaning and groaning the entire time instead of any dialogue. And it turns out the honey chef was in the room the entire time hiding in a box because he's scared of the war. And he heard them bad-mouthing him. And so he goes to try Bernard's honey after they leave and he loves it.
Moi? I am a professional. Put that in your pot and boil it. You think the honey made by a soldier boy will be better than that of a master chef?
Soldier boy, I'm in it. Why me crack it? Why me roll? Why me crack that soldier boy? That's super.
Well. This is delicious.
We're getting an intense scene with Soldier Boy. I mean Bernard, where he has to fly back to the honey valve and let it open because the humans have arrived, and then he dies.
Nighty night.
No! Look behind you, Bernard!
Bernard, wake up, please. Please, we're counting on you. Oh no, this can't be happening. After all this, we've come so close, but now the valve won't be opened and the hive will be lost.
No, it won't.
Oh, he's okay. As you could probably guess, Bernard made it to the honey valve and released all the honey, and then the humans stopped attacking him, and then everybody give him a round of applause because he's a good little soldier boy.
Let's show Bernard our appreciation.
You did it, Bernard! Our hero! Look! There's Bernard buzzing back!
So as the team is celebrating, this other soldier comes up to talk to Bernard, and he starts talking to him from the left side, and it slowly pans to the right, and as it keeps panning, it shows the other characters, and then it goes back to Bernard, and not only that, Beauty's getting a face full of stinger, bro. It's crazy.
You must feel pretty good.
Of course, we won the war.
Yeah, the hive is safe at last.
Yeah! Ooh-hoo! Uh-huh! Ooh-hoo!
The hive's safe, but that doesn't mean the future's going to be any brighter for you, Bernard. Come with me. You're under arrest, and you'll be brought before the Queen to be judged.
And then they arrest him for saving the hive because I guess he wasn't supposed to go in the honey area and he disobeyed the ancient culture of the bees. It's so stupid. He's in a ball and chain.
I'm overjoyed that we survived the crisis, but I'm so annoyed that we have to deal with this scandal before we get to party. Soldier Bernard, I hope that you are aware, son, of the severity of the charges that have been brought against you. What are the charges brought against him?
I freaking hate this queen, bro. She freaking sucks. But pretty much, she just is doing everything in her power to throw Bernard under arrest until the chef comes up and tells them the truth.
But alas, I had nothing to do with it. That divinely sweet and glorious creation was in fact made by the soldier boy, Bernard.
So they end up just letting Bernard go because, I mean, he saved the hive, of course they would, and he gets to become this local celebrity, and this is where the movie gets really confusing for me.
Do you think Bernard would let us into his cooking class? That guy is totally the coolest. I hate boys.
Yeah, except of course, Bernard. He's so cool.
Why are there more princesses? I get there was the other one at the start, which I thought was just bad storytelling. There's only typically one princess, and I'm a little confused. And we finally get to the ending of this movie, and they do this weird meta ending where they talk to you, the viewer, and talk about how you can be anything you want to be, which is wholesome. It's just meta endings are so cliche.
I think we're being watched.
Yeah, you're right. Gosh, who is it? An enemy spy? If it is! It's hard to say exactly. Hey, I got it. This is someone who's following their heart wherever it takes them.
We're buzzing out of here. See you soon.
So that was Little B. Honestly, not terrible compared to some other mockbusters. Maybe I'll do another video. Let me know in the comments if you want me to. But also, leave a like and subscribe. This video took me a long time to make, and I had to watch that movie like 4 times. So, anyways, I hope you get... Is that a viewer watching the... Oh, hi, guys. I hope you... Fuck, what am I doing? Okay, good night.